Hello, dear ones. Once again, we come together for a midweek meditation to enjoy the blessings of God and reflect upon His love revealed to us in His holy word. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so glad you're here. A freshman at Eagle Rock Junior High won first prize at the Greater Idaho Falls Science Fair back on April 26, 1997. He was attempting to show how conditioned we have become to alarmists, practicing junk science and spreading fear of everything in our environment. In his project, he urged people to sign a petition demanding strict control or total elimination of the chemical dihydrogen monoxide, and for plenty of good reasons, since it can cause excessive sweating and vomiting. It is a major component in acid rain. It can cause severe burns in its gaseous state. Accidental inhalation can kill you. It decreases the effectiveness of automobile brakes, and it has been found in the tumors of terminal cancer patients. He asked 50 people if they supported a ban of the chemical. 43 said yes. 6 were undecided, and only 1 knew that the chemical dihydrogen monoxide was another name for H2O, or water. The title of his prize-winning project was How Gullible Are We? He feels the conclusion is obvious. Ever since a boy cried wolf, people have known that raising an alarm is a good way to gain attention. And why is that? It's because we are naturally predisposed to react to threats in our environment. It's instinctual. And it has served our species well, helping us to survive when threatened by forces beyond our control. Are there threats in our world? Absolutely. And we should surely do what is reasonable to mitigate the danger. But here's the thing. As the world becomes more complex, so do the threats we face. And so it becomes harder and harder to distinguish between an actual threat and someone hyping the danger for attention or for control. Because, yes, people will exploit your fears. In The Music Man, Professor Harold Hill hyped the danger of a new pool table in town to get people to give him money for a boys' marching band. Oh, we got trouble right here in River City. Yeah, you know the rest. So fear is a useful thing, but it opens us up for exploitation from those who claim they can keep us safe. And not only does fear make us exploitable, it also drains all the joy from our lives. Fear absolutely robs us from enjoying life as it is meant to be lived. We have all experienced that this past year, have we not? Fear and worry are deadly, raising your anxiety, stressing your body and your nervous system. Fear can be a good thing, helping us survive, but to live constantly in fear is not the way to live. Now, I am not qualified to tell you everything you actually need to fear. It may be someone crying wolf, or it may actually be a wolf, who can tell? But I would urge you to be selective about the threats you actually face. Dihydrogen monoxide is not something you need to be afraid of, no matter how ominous it sounds. Jesus, too, urged us to be selective about our fears. In Luke 12, verses 4 and 5, Jesus says, I tell you, my friends, do not fear those who kill the body, and after that can do nothing more. But I will warn you whom to fear. Fear him who, after he is killed, has authority to cast into hell. Yes, I tell you, fear him. Now, what is Jesus telling us? He's saying the thing of which we should actually be concerned is not so much our physical state, but our spiritual standing with God. Well, let's face it, these bodies are not designed to last forever. They are merely temporary dwellings for the real you. Of much greater concern is where the eternal part of you will be spending the rest of the time. God has authority not only over your physical body, but your soul as well. That should be far more concerning to you than the temporary things we fret about. How concerned should you be? Well, if you're not right with God, then you should be quaking in your boots. Fear him, Jesus says. Yes, I tell you, fear him. But right after that admonition to fear God, in the very next breath, Jesus says, "Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 pennies? Yet not one of them is forgotten in God's sight. But even the hairs of your head are all counted. Do not be afraid. You are more valuable than many sparrows." So right after Jesus says, "Be afraid, be very afraid," he says, "Do not be afraid." Why? Because although God holds your entire essence in his hands, those are very loving hands, and he will move heaven and earth to save you. So is Jesus saying I should or shouldn't fear God? Which is it? Well, if you put God off, ignore his word left and right, run from his will for your life, take him for granted, give him a lower priority in your life, then yes, by all means, you need to fear him. You walk on dangerous ground, my friend. But if you seek God with all your heart, give him preeminence in your life, put your faith and trust in him, and do your best to love your neighbor, then you will be given a sense of assurance and peace that nothing will be able to shake you. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth should change, though the mountains shake in the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble with its tumult. And how is it you can place those fears aside? Because God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Psalm 46. So let fear motivate you when necessary, but don't let it be a way of life. When you get right with God, you will find all things unfolding as they should. God bless you, dear ones. Thanks again for being here, and I will see you soon.